morning right now as I'm filming this. Just got Johnny off to school on his shuttle. If you are new here, welcome. You may have come over from the crime channel. I do have a crime channel on YouTube. This is my second channel where it's everything but crime. And today we are going to be talking about Steve Irwin and the dream I had and the interaction I had with his spirit after 19 years of waiting. 19 years of waiting for this man to come into my presence. So I am a psychic medium, and I came out of the closet around 40 years old. Steve died in 2006. Can you believe it? So I want to talk a little bit about, we're definitely going to talk all about Steve, but equally important today is my message about spirit, how it works, and the significance of the 19 years. What does it mean? Why was it 19 years? Okay, so we're going to get into the how-tos of the spirit world interacting with us and timing and stuff. When I do readings, when I do one-on-one readings, my main goal is always to provide comfort, that your loved ones are still around, hope that I know they're okay. I know you're going to see them again, and comfort. Everything is okay. Everything is fine. And I believe this with all of my heart. And when I lose, and if you've known me for a while, you know that I've said that, let's see, how old am I? I'm 57. My grandma died, my mom's mom, my Mexican grandmother died in 1976, I think. 75, 76. I didn't see her for 40 years. I knew she was out there somewhere, but I didn't see her for 40 years. It was the strangest thing, especially if you've read my memoir, you'll know that I've had these abilities and this weird thing I do, this psychic stuff since I was a child, as long as I can remember. And I remember when she died. And I'm 57, so obviously I've known people that have passed. Sometimes they come in before they're passing. If it's someone I know who's suffering from, let's say, cancer, for instance, there was somebody I used to work with, and I knew she was dying in the hospital down the street from where I lived and from where I worked. And I could feel her energy, and I know she was transitioning. And the weird thing about spirit is, it's weird but wonderful. She started coming to me because she knew I was talking to her daughter, who I also worked with. I was trying to help her daughter through the process of her mom's passing. Not that it was my job or anything, but since I do what I do, I wanted to help. And I knew this woman very well. And I could feel her passing. And that was sort of helping my spirit, my soul. It was helping my heart to accept the fact that, okay, she is going, but she's going peacefully. She's resigned to the fact that she is going to pass. She's not scared. She trusts everything that's going to be happening in the future with her daughter, etc., etc., etc. My music teacher, who's was like a father to me, again, in the book, he did come to me pretty much right away. Thank God. And he's with me all the time. Princess Diana was with me from the moment she passed, and I wasn't out of the closet. I wasn't even sure about my abilities at this point because I had to hide them I had to shove my abilities and my knowledge so far down. I didn't even know who I was, but I knew she was talking to me. Let's move ahead to 2006. Steve was so popular, he still is. But we had never seen anybody like Steve before. He started out with that mullet when him and Terry would be out in the swamps, out in the water, wherever they were, looking for crocodiles and other animals. And, you got this guy, you could hardly understand his words. And then an American I think she's from Oregon. And, thank goodness for Terry, because she would often kind of repeat what Steve would say. I couldn't understand his accent very well a lot of times, But his energy, Steve's energy, has always been so pronounced. Energy has always been, it always will be. It doesn't die. It just moves around. It goes somewhere else. When I see spirit, when I interact with someone who's passed, they don't have a body anymore. They present themselves to me, male or female. They present to me themselves as they were, who they were on the planet, only so I could identify them. But there's no body. When my aunt died, my aunt was one of my favorite people. I still have a hard time with it. But I know she's here. She's been with me since her passing. Pretty much right after her passing, she came to me like the next day, smiling, speaking to me in Spanish, saying, that she's there. Yes, it's really me. It's real. Look at me in the face. It is me. It is. And I remember I had reconstructive surgery down in my lady bits. I didn't want to go through another surgery. I had so many plastic surgeries, and it's like, I don't want to do this, but I have to do it because I was having problems with my uterus, and my bladder had prolapsed and stuff. So I had to do the surgery. And I thought, I just wish my aunt was here. And I was just crying to myself. I was alone. I did all my surgeries alone because no one gave a shat. And in walks a nurse named Ruth. That was my aunt's name. There's my aunt. There's ways that spirit shows up in our lives. So many different ways. But when Steve died, I got nothing. Nothing. And I felt that closeness to him. And a lot of people say, how could you know someone you never knew? You never met him. Because I'm a psychic. Because I know energy. I can look at a picture and know somebody. That's just how it is for me. The information transfers to me. I feel it. It's real. It's a real thing. It's not pretend. That's like saying air is pretend because you can't see it. Or that microwave energy is fake. Well, we know it's not. We can't see it, but we know it's cooking our food in the machine in the box in the kitchen. Steve has something similar to what I feel in my own soul, and that is the ability to show your true self and let your soul show to the universe, to existence. Steve wasn't shy. He knew what he wanted to do. He didn't care who laughed at him. Steve knew he had that je ne sais quoi, that special shine that not a lot of human beings have. He knew he shone brightly to the world and the other dimensions. He knew it. He knew he was going to die young. And sometimes I get mad at him, which is weird because I sound like a jealous wife or something. It's like, why did you put yourself in the line of danger knowing you were going to die? He knew he was going to die. But I know why he did it. I know why he did it. And so does Terry. So does anyone who was a part of his life, because he loved what he did. There was going to be no stopping him. And quite frankly, that was his journey. That was his predestined journey. And I've always known that. That was just what God had set up for him. That's what he agreed to. We agree to our journeys, which may sound wrong because my life has been a living hell most of my life. Why would I agree to this? Well, I remember agreeing to this life. I have pre-life memory. Steve agreed to the life, the shortish life. And his job was to do exactly what he did to the fullest. And when the universe said, when the timing was right, the universe took him back. He wasn't mad. He was just like, oh, all right, here we go. That was the surprise. And I am getting the chills, which is confirmation from spirit that I'm on the right track of the feelings and information. 19 years. I got nothing from the man. Nothing. Why? Where are you? Why? All these years. And I felt, well, okay, so it's complicated how I do this, but I could always see Steve. I knew he was past. I knew he was on the other side. I knew he was fine. I could see him, which is half the battle. If I know someone's past and I can't see them in my mind, that's a closed door for me. I don't have access to them at all for whatever reason. What reason? I don't know. I'm not God. No one owes me anything. So I've always just kind of thought, okay, well, maybe he's in a different dimension. Maybe I'm missing the signs. Maybe, I don't know. And then about a week ago, out of nowhere, I had a dream. And it was a really strange dream, as many dreams are strange. The scene opens with me looking through my own eyes. I have Robert Irwin here, Steve's son. I got two people over here, which I believe is Bendy and Terry. And I'm kind of on a rock, like a reddish rock. And I'm getting the chills. Right in front of me, coming up the rock, is Steve. And I'm so surprised in the dream. And I'm like, oh my God, hi. Oh my God, it's so nice to see you. And he's looking at me. And this is how I know it's really him. It was his energy, because I know how this works for me. He's looking at me kind of shy, like, are you okay if I come in? He had a, closed mouth, kind of slight smile, and he's holding something. I'm not sure what he was holding. But he's got on his khakis, his shorts and boots and all that. And he takes a couple steps up the rock, and still he doesn't say anything, but he makes that eye contact. And that eye contact is everything. The eye contact is the acknowledgement and the engagement with his actual energy. And it was at that moment I could exhale after 19 years. And it's kind of like the feeling he gives me is, I know, and this is again telepathic, I know I haven't visited, I know I've been absent, sorry, but I'm here, let me just take you over here, let me show you something. And he comes and takes a couple steps behind me, between me and Robert, and he kind of comes behind me this way, and then it's gone. And I woke up. I was at my daughter's house, out in the middle of nowhere in Vermont, peaceful, no street lights, no noise pollution, nothing. There's nothing but trees and bears and, animals and stuff. And I was home alone because my daughter had gone off with her husband to do a D&D session with their friends, a Dungeons and Dragons with their friends. And I was home alone that entire day, all until the evening time. And I played with the dogs, and I went outside, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm analyzing the dream. I see, I'm just looking at him again, his hair. Okay, we got Robert. Even though I knew this was Robert, I couldn't see Robert. Really, all I could see was Steve. And I got tired, and, I was on vacation, so to speak, and I went and took a nap. And it was weird because as soon as I fell asleep, I was back in the dream. That doesn't hardly ever happen to me. I went right back with everybody in the dream. So now we are at one of my relatives' homes in Santa Clara, California. They have a historic landmark home. It's registered and has a plaque in front of it and stuff. It's a Victorian home. And this home has come into many of my dreams, usually surrounding confusion, because this home has a lot of confusion. There were births in this home. There were deaths in this home. There were marriages. You know, this home's had a lot happen in it. So in the dream, Steve's leading me down the hallway. I'm getting the chills again. Steve's leading me down the main hallway of my uncle's house. Again, Robert's here, but I can't see him, but I know he's here. And Steve's taking me into the kitchen. And I've never seen this in this dream, in this house before. Any of the dreams I've had of this house, I've never seen this before. Steve shows me on the floor in the kitchen, like the floor opens up with two separate pieces. I don't know if they're on top of each other or side by side, or maybe pieces like this that open, but I felt like the pieces were like this. And where the gap is down, like a hole. And they do have a basement, but this had nothing to do with the basement. And Steve's not talking, but he points over to the thing opening up in the kitchen. And I'm like, no. And I slap it shut. How could I slap shut the floor? I mean, this was a big thing opening up, and it's like, oh, no. I have the chills. And it's like, why did you bring us here? That was dangerous. But it has to do with Robert. And that was the end of the dream. But now I have to figure out, what does that mean? I don't like guessing. I don't like using my own mind. I like spirit telling me things. So my guesses of what this means range from, okay, Robert going in and disappearing. Does this mean Robert's gonna pass? Does this mean Robert's gonna pass in the same way Steve went down? Does this mean Robert needs to be warned of don't step in this area? Is this a warning, or is this a, not a premonition, what's the other word? Is he showing me the future? Am I supposed to make sure the floor is closed so no one gets hurt? I don't know what it means. And I haven't got any new information, but that was just a dream. And the fact that it was 19 years after Steve's passing goes to remind me, which I'll remind everybody, it's not in our time. Nothing in the spirit realm is our time. It's on their time. It's on God's time. Whatever, if you don't believe in God, I interchange the word God with the universe, because to me, it's one and the same. It's one. Whatever your higher power is, it's their time. And if you're not hearing from your loved ones after 20, 25, 30 years, it's not you. There's nothing wrong with you. Even if someone else says, oh, I heard from Grandma. Well, I've never heard from Grandma. How come? She's never come to visit me. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Did they actually hear from Grandma? You know what I mean? Like, the bottom line is there's nothing wrong with you. And there's nothing wrong with them. It doesn't mean they're not safe. It doesn't mean they didn't make it over. It doesn't mean they're suffering. Because on the other side, there's no time. Time is infinite. There is no time. There's no reference. So it's not like you're being punished. 1 second is the same as 1,000 years. So there's a lot of messages in the video today. I feel like I can breathe now. But I also feel like I got to keep an eye on the Irwins now. At least Robert. So what am I supposed to do? I don't know the Irwins. I don't, my husband's Australian, but he's here with me. I do have his family in Australia. I have my sister-in-law is on the East Coast. My mother-in-law's on the West Coast of Australia. What am I supposed to do? My husband doesn't even want to go back to Australia for a visit. I don't know. I can't think that far ahead. I have to depend on spirit. They will make a path for me if there's something I need to do. If I need to get involved and send a message somehow to somebody or make a video or something, that's what I'll do. But being someone that has this ability, I do take it very seriously, and I never want to jeopardize what's been given to me. So I always try and do what's right by spirit and do what they need me to do, if anything at all. So I pay attention. So now that I have like this conduit, I have this existing connection to Steve's energy, it should be easier for him to connect to me. A lot of times when I'm doing a reading with a spirit who's never been channeled before, they're like, how do I do this? This is the dead person talking. They're like, okay, that's my daughter I see down there. I don't know how to come in and talk to you, Audrey. I don't know how do I talk to her? It's like, well, you're doing it. You're doing it right now. I can hear you. You're talking to me. So just keep going, keep talking. So, and once they do that, then they don't stop talking. They do not stop talking. They talk and talk. And then I eventually have to ask spirit to leave because they're just making me nuts. But now there's an established connection, like a telephone line to the other side with Steve. I'm really hoping he will come back in and give me more information. And of course, I will let you guys know. I don't feel panicked. I don't feel like Robert's life is in danger or anything, but there's definitely a message there. So that's my message today. That is my dream of Steve Irwin and channeling him. Still getting the chills. I think he may be here. I feel like he's hiding behind, he's not hiding, but he's behind me. He's behind me. A lot of times spirits will come in and kind of listen to me, see what I'm saying, see if I did it right. Sometimes they're like, that's not what I meant. Or no, go back and say it like this instead, because I think you got it wrong, Audrey. So I will keep you guys updated. I appreciate your time. Please hit that subscribe button. I talk about a lot on this channel, and I'm willing to talk about pretty much anything except crime on this channel. We'll save that for the other channel. It's a different vibe on this channel. So thanks again. Thanks so much. And hello to all my friends down in the land down under in Australia, who I know were waiting for this video. It's not a big story, but still, it makes me happy. And we'll see what happens next. All right, you guys take care. I'll see you next time.